Hey, welcome back to Papa's Custom Cars. We're going to finish up that firewall finally, that project. I was having an issue trying to figure out how I'm going to get the panel bond and stay flat. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to weld the whole thing on. And then I was thinking about it, and I was watching a video where someone panel bonded something on, and what they did was pretty simple. Machine screws. So what you do is you put your panel bond on, run in the machine screws to hold it in place. Once it's done, you pull all the machine screws out and you weld the hole shut. Grind it off, done, done, and done. So you don't have to worry about any welds or anything of that nature. And like I said, the whole thing's going to be seam sealed anyway. So yeah, that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to do that real quick and get that panel on that car so that we can move on to the other side and everything else and get this engine in the car. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is go ahead and pull the tip off of here. Grab the welding pliers should work. And that opens up the mix, and you put your tip on. You want to make sure you hold on to this because you plug it back in when you're done. So with that, as you push it through, what it does is this tip is kind of neat. It's wiggly, so it actually mixes it. By the time it gets to here, it's mixed and ready to bond. It's got a kind of small hole, but that will work. So we're just going to I'm kind of putting it all over the place. That way I know I got everything. Maybe some spots where I miss it or something, and I don't want to do that. Up over here. So now that we've got our panel bond on, release the pressure on this, pull it back, and we just want to hold off on that for a minute. There is one other thing I need to bond, so let's get this thing put on real quick. That's just to kind of help us line it up. Now, let's blast some screws in it.
Hey man, how the hell you doing? I've been just fine living life with the noose and in my mind, all I hear is music. Watching your mouth move, damn you look stupid. I feel like everyone's a stranger. Small talk with your narcissistic neighbor. She's real hot, but they said to never date her. I agree, but you did and I hate her. You wanna get away? You better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 Hey man, can I get a favor? Yeah, sure, hot, no, see you later. Sometimes I just wanna be a hater. Gotta wash down the top 40s with a chaser. Your voice starts feeling like a waiter. Scraping my mind against a cheese grater. Before you go, sir, you have to sign a waiver.
Get my body hammer and slam. Hit that thing a few times. There's got some bends in it.
Get in line, won't go another day of wasting any time.
That sounds real good down there. Here. Whole corner. Not playing the way it should. Grab a tiny drill bit.
Filter, no filter, I got no filter.
double layer panel, so it's giving me grief. All right, I'll let that bond.
The next day.
So it's the next day. Got all that sealer on there. Should be all nice and dry now. So go ahead and pull our screws off and see how we did. Sorry about that. I had to go feed the ducks. All right, let's pull these screws off this panel and see how we did. This corner out. We're going to have to weld that. So this corner here, there's tight, 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 here loose. So we'll have to tack in here, and then tack here, and also come back with more seam sealer. And just put squirt seam sealer up under here because it's still viable, but panel's on. Did a lot more damage with the drill than I expected, but once you're committed, you're pretty much committed, and if it's sticking out, you got to get a bit in there, a screw in there to hold it. So I come back, I got to do a little bit of welding work anyway, so I might as well just tack down here. I might want to trim this a little bit because it does stick out quite a bit from the edge, so we may just cut that bottom seam before we tack it in. This area is real good, all the way over to here where there was nothing on the corner. Across the top, we're nice and tight all the way, except a little bit of, well, looks like there's a lot of seam sealer, but this is where that little lip was for this piece, so to be expected, but we'll just come back, we'll fill all these holes, and we'll be done. And then we can start working on that other side and work our way across, get this whole thing painted and ready to go. So, for you, this is all I'm going to be doing today. I snap my fingers and you guys will be back in a minute, but I'll be back in a couple of days to weld this up. So, I'll see you in a minute. Okay. This is done. Everything laid down pretty nice until I got over there to that side and it started getting haywire on me, but everything else solid as rock. Oh yeah, and while I was doing all that, guess what I found? My bulkhead connector. So once everything's dry and everything's good, we'll go ahead and put this in. No real hurry to do it, but at least we could put it on and then put caps on them so that it's ready to go. So yeah, that's where that was. Right where I left it. So the issue I had with the sheet metal screws is I was going through and hitting the solid steel. This is all double layered. And it's thick steel. This is not, there's a bunch of parts in here where it's not thin sheet metal. This side went in real nice. It's down. You can feel it. It's all the way down. So that should be good. Everything is laying real flat except that little corner there. Once it's bonded and everything's good, I can hammer that down and straighten it out, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. But with that, the panel's on. I'll go through next week, weld up these little tiny holes all over the place. Didn't think I'd have that many, but it happens. So we'll get that all cleaned up, weld all those holes, and then we'll be done with it. And we just need to clean up the rest of the firewall, shoot the paint on it, and move along. So with that, like, share, subscribe. I'll see you next week.